We're back again here at the Bright Side Film Festival, and we got a whole cast and crew here for Princess Delilah's Disconnected Fairy Tale. So why don't we go around? We'll start with you, Bridget, and you say what you did on the film. And we'll
okay, so hi, I'm Bridget Reed David, and I am the writer and the director and the producer, actually, of Princess Dahlia's Disconnected Fairy Tale.
There you go.
Below is Alexis Abrams, who is the very talented Princess Dahlia, who I will let her introduce herself.
Yeah. Thank you. I am Alexis Abrams, and I played Princess Dahlia. It was such a special project to be a part of. So thank you so much for Bridget for seeing something in me and giving me the opportunity to work with you guys.
And then Dana.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dana Solomon. I'm the composer for the soundtrack for Dahlia, and certainly had certainly enjoyed, had a blast collaborating and working with everyone. Brigitte, of course, I met her. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I was coming back from a film festival.
No,
in Miami. Was it that one?
Yeah, we were on a TV pilot.
Right, that's what it was in Atlanta. That's what it was. Right, the TV pilot. Right, and so we started talking, and she actually gave me a preview of some of what she had done before, right there in the airport as we were waiting for our flight back to Philly on her MacBook. And I was like, man, I really like this story. I mean, I never saw a story like this before. This is awesome. And I was like, if there's anything I can do to help you with it, I'd love to see what I can contribute. And we just kind of collaborated and went back and forth with some things. So I'm happy with what I've been able to contribute in the project just in general as a composer and a musician.
Yes. So have you composed other films then, obviously, and TV shows since you were at a
I've done I've done other films, short films mostly. I did I'm trying to remember. I did some documentary too back in the day, and a couple other things. I've done some sync placement years back with the Oprah Winfrey Show. I've had some music that's been in license with them over the years, and a few other little independent things. I still would love to be able to work on like an episodic, like you're talking about, with something like a Netflix or HBO or something like that. That I would certainly love to do. So I'm still kind of plugging with that. But in the meanwhile, I've been basically meeting different talented people, such as what you have on this panel, in different areas, and getting to know them as friends and professional, creative personnel, and just seeing how I can just kind of help out and go to the next level with that. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. But so far, that's basically what I've been doing in my own individual projects, which is scoring for trailers as well. I do trailer soundtracks.
Mm-hmm. Cool. It's good to know. A lot of people need those.
It's a little niche of mine that I love doing, but I mean, I like it all because I'm a professional musician that studied formally, but I specifically love film. I love the synergy of syncing music with film and creating that environment that draws you in. Because if you look at Dahlia, if you look at everything with the princess and all the cast and crew, it just draws you in even more if you create the right music and the atmosphere around it. So I love being a part of that.
Absolutely. Alexis, how did you get involved? How did that was the audition process, or how'd that go about to get casted?
Very run-of-the-mill audition process. I got the sides, auditioned, heard from Bridget, we spoke a bit, and then the rest is history. There's something, as an actor, you get a lot of scripts. And so when you get one that's really special and it stands out to you and it's something that you want to be a part of so bad, it's so rewarding when you get there and you get to set and you're working with all these people who feel the same way about the project as you do. So I think, the story it's incredible. It's relevant. It's presented in a beautiful and cinematic way. And I'm so happy that I got to meet everybody this way, but we don't have a cool meeting on a pilot story like you two do.
So Alexis, you guys filmed in New Jersey? So were you here and then went out west, or were you out west and came here to film?
No, so I grew up in Connecticut and I lived there my whole life. After that, I had moved to Brooklyn and I lived there for a few years. And it's pretty recent that I moved to LA. So I was on the East Coast during the time of filming, which made it much easier to get around. But I think honestly, for a script like this and for people so passionate about it, if I was in LA and it was okay, I absolutely would have flown out for it if I had to.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you come up with that idea, Bridget? How did you come up with that concept?
It's interesting we were speaking of LA because I just remembered when I first started I had a mentorship out at Women in Film LA because I'm a member, and I was flying out every other month to LA for a year. So I was stuck. Somehow I ended up in the middle seat on an airplane for 5 hours between two very large people. And I could either be really pissed off, and grumble, or pull out my computer and write something. So I thought, I'm going to write something. And I wrote this and I was cracking myself up. I started writing this and it kind of started free form. I just got the idea of what I wanted to do. So the Fairytale came and I was kind of chuckling the whole way to LA. And then when I came back from LA, I finished it. So that's how it came about.
Where did you guys end up filming?
So we filmed a day in a house in Delaware. We went. He has a wooded area behind his house, and then some state land behind that. So we kind of snuck onto this state land for the magical place. And then we filmed at a farm about 5 miles away. And then we filmed at a studio in Kensington. So we filmed 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Yeah. So we had 3 locations. And it was cool. It was a project. I bet there were over 40 people on it, between making the set, building the set, the extras, the people who worked on it behind the scenes. It was really, for a short film, for this many people to come on board and be passionate about it. It was an honor, and it was really fun. Alexis was right. It was really fun. You write a fairy tale and you get a great princess, and it's just fun.
How do you get into the character of a princess?
There were a lot of sides to this princess, so I don't think there was one way. I think each day in each scene, I had to approach it differently to, sometimes I don't want to give anything away. Sometimes it's fun to play a little devious. And then, also when there's heart in it, it's a great experience. So there wasn't one approach. It was kind of whatever was needed at that time had to be done.
This princess, and I don't want to this princess has quite an arc.
How do you come up with the music for Dana? Like when you see the product, or do you go from the script, or do you see the final product, or how do you go about creating the music for it?
I mean, I've done both before. I mean, I've worked with people that have forwarded me a PDF of some the storyline, or when it's in its infancy stage and it's kind of a rough draft or whatever, or a final thing. But normally what I'll do is, someone will send me like a quick time or whatever of what they have that's picture locked most of the time. And I'll literally watch something probably at least about 7 times or so. So it's kind of different from my perspective, because what I'm always watching is different what you would see as an audience member, or as a fan of film, because I'm watching everything without music, and sometimes I'm watching it without Foley, with no sound effects or anything. So I'm just listening, or I'm looking at the raw footage, but what I'm trying to get in my head is, how does it make me feel? And that's pretty much the question I always ask myself as I watch everything and I go back and forth from the dialogue from one character to the next and the flow of the story, because the story is most important, in my opinion. The story is key. But then how do they all interact with each other? So then I'm asking, how does it make me feel? And then I'm just basically kind of thinking of musical elements in regards to that. And one of the things for myself, especially being that I've had formal training with classical music as a classical pianist, is I love the romantic period. I mean, I love all of them, the romantic as well as the impressionistic period, when you speak of like Debussy, Ravel, so forth. But I like to think in colors. So when I'm looking at the scene and I'm listening to them go back and forth, I'm not even just saying like, how does it make me feel? I'm also kind of like orally painting a picture. So I'm seeing all this, but I'm also kind of hearing the ebbs and flows of how the story goes, and what type of chords or progressions or melodies, motifs, and so forth that I can add here or there to just enhance what they're doing. The main thing that I've always realized that's kind of one of the differences between composing for film versus just making music as an album as an artist is that you're never the centerpiece. The story is what's most important. The lead, the actors, the supporting cast, that's what's most important. The director's vision of telling the story is what's most important. So my job or your job as a composer is to support everything that they do to the utmost to your ability to make it shine. So if you have a good story, a great score just makes it even better. But you could even have a mediocre story and mediocre performance, and a great score will still make it better than mediocre, and the vice versa. You can have a phenomenal story, but if you have horrible music, it takes down everything and just makes it amateurish. So, you just have to kind of be on your P's and Q's and just think of it in that terms. How does it make you feel? And then if you can translate that, then more than likely the audience is going to feel the same thing as well.
Yeah, music can change the whole movie. Yeah, definitely.
And
Can go either way.
we worked on the music with Dana and the editor and the cinematographer and I. So it was definitely during the editing process that it was all brought together.
How is directing and writing and directing your own stuff? Have you done it before this? Both writing and directing?
Well, writing is kind of my forte. It's I have a MFA from NYU in dramatic writing, and before that I was a journalist for a million years in newspapers, but which makes me a dinosaur. So I thought, now I want to be a screenwriter. Since then, I've written a lot. My first feature is in pre-production. I have another one in development. So as a director, this was a dream because Alexis and Matt did such great jobs, and I worked with such talented people that they really brought a lot of their own vision to the story. So I think as a director, it's really important just to let people listen to other people's ideas. And so many people brought good ideas to the table that it was a dream. And I have directed, this was my first thing that I ever directed. So it was a good experience.
Oh, how many days was it? Yeah. How many days did you film?
3, I'm thinking.
I think we did 3, but we had the story part.
Oh, we had the story part. So 4. Yeah, that's what it was. We did 3, and then there's the story part.
Yeah.
And that was another day. So we did 4.
It was reminding me, the story part reminded me of Fred Savage and Princess Bride. Ever see that?
Yeah.
In the very beginning with telling the story.
Yeah, and we originally had 2 little boys that there were going to be 2 brothers, an older brother and a younger brother, and then they both got sick.
No.
And it was like, so we had to scramble the last minute, and we got a mother and a daughter.
How was Alexis? How was working with your other actors there in the scenes
Well,
back
it
and
was
forth?
great, and I think a lot of that is due to the direction that we were given, which was very much, we had talked a lot about the story before and why it was written and what we wanted to present, and then we got to set, and it was, I loved we were just able to go and to try things, and then we would go, well, let's tweak this, let's try to do something else. Why don't we try that? But I love, how much freedom and collaboration was on that set, and then with the other actors, it was very much. I think there's something special about respecting other people's work and their ideas, because at the end of the day, they got the role for a reason, and it's because they came up with something that was very special and that's going to serve the story well. So just kind of, for me at least, sitting back and watching what they're doing and then just going on that ride with them is, I think that honestly, that's probably the most fun part of being an actor. You just kind of let it unfold, and then with direction, you tweak something, you try something else, and you just keep doing that for 3 days in this instance.
Was there any more scenarios that you had that were cut from the film? Maybe like another one, or
There's a fun story that I would like to tell you. There's one scene where we're fishing, and I don't even remember if the cameras were still rolling at this point, but I was trying for my first time fishing in real life. I had never fished before, and all of a sudden there's a fish on my hook. And we were laughing so much, and I think it just brought the whole set to life, because it was something that was so real and so funny, and I think that we caught that on camera. I don't remember if it was just
We
after
did.
when I caught it.
I wondered about that. I wondered about that scene, if that was impromptu. I said, how did that happen? So that was a magical moment.
Yes.
Yes.
It was amazing. We also had in the last scene a dog walk where everybody. So the last scene, a dog wandered on, and the person came running in and apologized. And I said, no, 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 leave the dog on set. So we had a lot of fun stuff happen. But yeah, the fish was the best. That was great.
was there a lot that you had to cut out of the film there, that when in the editing process, or that you like, oh, I want to keep it in, but you had to cut it out? Or
Yeah, I mean, there was so much. There was one scene that we originally cut out because it didn't work. The scene where they were looking for you, but we put it back in. We kind of reworked it, and that ended up going back in, and I was really happy. And it's funny that just some of the stuff you think is going to work doesn't. That was the only one that didn't. But then we really re-edited it and kind of made it work. So I don't think we cut out too much. There's so much more that I would have liked to put in. The footage, actually, it's on my agenda to go ahead and write a feature from this and use this as a trailer, because I just think it's a really fun story.
is it playing? Has it played in any other film festivals before ours, or any upcoming ones?
So I know of one upcoming one in November, and I'm waiting to hear from a couple in Europe in the fall. So I basically kind of just started sending it out.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
we're excited to have it, and we're going to play it on the 11th, which is coming up so quickly.
Yeah, we're very excited. We wanted to thank you too. We're very, very excited that you selected us.
That's
and
our,
it's
it's gonna be a fun day. Yeah, it's like
I think so.
Yeah,
It's up
That's-
for best content and best actress. So
yeah, I got some nominations there, and yeah, we have a lot of fun with the fest. It's a bar fest with 2 floors, films playing all day. It gets crowded, but it's our 10-year too. So we have a special thing Saturday night. We're bringing back films for the last 10 years. So we have 4 sets of and a lot of people, their progression from when they had this film in to now, it's pretty cool. They're coming back, and so I've been in this most of my life, so doing this kind of stuff. So it's exciting to see. And 10 years just went by like that. So
it does. It goes fast.
but,
Well, thank you.
yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. Do you have anything? We'll go around the room here, and if you want to promote anything or any of your handles or any upcoming projects you want to promote, or this, if you want to start, Bridget, if you want to start that.
So we have an upcoming project coming, The Boys in Red, which they're filming. Molly is probably the closest film to my heart. It's a feature that has placed in the Nickel in the Austin Film Festival, and that is in development. It's going to be shot here in Philadelphia and in New Jersey. It's about the Battle of Monmouth, and it's about Molly
All that stuff.
who
Yeah.
fired the cannon in the battle. And it's really a story about, it's an underdog story. So that's the one that's near and dear to my heart. That is the mollyfilm.org.
We got the Molly picture in right down the road here.
I know you do. So check out the mollyfilm.org. You will see all about the legend and plenty of New Jersey stuff too.
No, cool. What about you, Dana?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I just wanted to say again how much it was, a pleasure and a lot of fun to work with everyone on the project. I really enjoyed it, and certainly look forward to, hopefully doing more collaborations in the future to see how I can contribute. For myself, anyone that wants to get in contact with me to help with some of your soundtracks, or as I said, trailers or some promo, you can certainly listen to some of my music on my website. I am going to be revamping that probably in another month or less, but you can look at my site at daspRD.com, www.daspRD.com, and you'll kind of get an idea of like how I write. But primarily my strengths are orchestration, as well as any modern type scoring and the hybrid scoring where you have electronic elements of it, because I do synth programming, sound designing as well. So, my background, as I said before, is formal training in music, but I play a multitude of different styles, so I can compose in a lot of different things, whether it's classical, jazz, pop, R&B, rock, a lot of different genres. But my specialty, definitely my strengths, would be orchestration as well as just modern scoring. So I love to just meet a lot of different people, because it's just great to meet different people that think like you in general. It's not always about just trying to get on a project. You just never know how many nice people you meet. Like I would have never thought of like Brigitte. I didn't even know she was in Philly. I was on the set for something else, and they were like, "Oh, you need to get with her because she's from Philly." I'm like, "Well, I didn't know someone else from my area is here." And then, look at what happened from there. So that's what I mean. It's like, meeting all these great people like that have the same mind of just creating professionally that way with a passion is just a great thing. So, even if it's just you contacting me to see if I can answer a question, it doesn't always have to be about me working on music for you. I don't mind sharing everything that I've learned in formal training and the years of me being an expert when it comes to mixing as well as scoring, whatever, just let me know.
Right. And what about you, Alexis?
Yes, I actually have a lot of projects coming out in 2025 that I'm so excited for. Notably, right now in festivals, I am starring in a romantic comedy called Love and Taxes. It was written by Lloyd Schwartz, writer and producer of The Brady Bunch, which was such an honor. I am opposite Jake Reiner in that, who is such a star and a treat to work with. Very excited. We're still in festivals right now. A lot coming out in 2025. If you want to keep up, you can follow me anywhere at Alexis A. Abrams. And I'm so excited for you guys to see this film. This one is something really special. Like I said before, it's so relevant. And I think it's a happy story. And that's very nice to see.
Great. Thanks so much. Bridget, I think it's starting to rain there.
You know what? I'm holding my computer down because the rains are coming in.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today. And probably tomorrow I'll get this up and out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. See you in about 2 weeks or so, or less than 2 weeks. Oh my gosh.
Right. Thanks from Princess Dahlia's Disconnected Fairy Tale.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.